in. Hey, how are you? Show the dog. I can do that. Hold on. Girls. I want to see you guys. That one's Bella, and this one is Onyx. Girls. Onyx. That one's Onyx. She's the puppy. And then that one's my old girl. She's almost 10. She'll be 10 in August. How are you doing today, Brett? Welcome in. It's been raining in Virginia like all week, it seems. I'm in Bristol. Good. Yeah, I was on the news. I was kind of scanning through the through the feed earlier, and a YouTuber that here they go. They know it's about time for Dad to be home, so they get rambunctious on me. In England, oh, we're in the springtime here in America, at least on the East Coast, and you'll have to kind of pardon my mess. I was gonna clean today, and I started messing with. Hi, Chris. Welcome in. I started messing with a couple of things on my computer, and time kind of got away from me today. So here I am. My husband's on his way home, and I'm throwing pot pies in the oven. It's kind of like a quick thing. But I was going through the feed earlier, and I seen that Iran was attacking Israel. What is going on, guys? That's kind of spooky, especially knowing that they've got like the nuclear warheads and stuff like that. That's almost kind of something I always kind of take notice to. I used to be married to the military for like 26 years. Of course, I don't have any secrets or anything, so I can't tell nothing. My ex was very, very good at that kind of stuff. But I've always kind of tried to take notice of things going on around the world, because it does ultimately affect everybody, I think, and whether it's economy or whatever. But when places like Israel are under attack by places like Iran, that's something to kind of take notice, you know? Yeah, I think you're right, Monica. I think that has a lot to do with it. I know they've got, what is it, the Iron Dome, or that big, their big warhead system that they've got over there. I think that usually does a pretty good job, but it seems like it's been kind of getting its use with Hamas and everything. That I don't know, you know, maybe they're trying to kind of strike while the iron's hot, so to speak. Kind of makes me wonder. Just seems like the timing is a little, I don't know, it's kind of a little, I don't know. I'm like you. It seems like they're kind of trying to scare everybody. Yeah, Monica, it is kind of like that, right? Whenever stuff happens over there, that's like the first thing I usually think of. I don't consider myself like super, super spiritual, but I do believe in God. I've read Revelations. There's a lot of things that happen. It seems like every election, you know, the things that are happening around us seems to be parts of Revelations and stuff. And they always say, you know, here he comes, here comes God. He's going to make his return and everything. But it seems like every we progress, and it gets to be a little bit more realistic. I mean, I'm not trying to like make this all like a religious conversation or a political conversation or anything like that. But when I seen that, I figured I'd jump on and just kind of have like some conversations about it. And my channel is mainly about my dogs and stuff, but I kind of like to get on and just have some conversations about other things too. I mean, I can't just talk about my dogs all the time, you know? Do you have any good scary stories? About anything particular, Chris? I mean, I can say that, you know, I was walking through the dark and my dog jumped out and scared me one night and had like a jump scare. I mean, that kind of scary stories. Paranormal, I guess I could say it had a little paranormal, but it wasn't, I don't think it had anything to do with like God or anything. I have a friend that's from Georgia, in the U.S. Georgia, it's a state here in the U.S. that is, he's a paranormal investigator. That's how I actually met him. When I lived in Georgia, it was a giveaway during Halloween to go to a haunted, it was like a haunted prison. Oh, where was that? Not Valdosta, Georgia. Where was that at? It was somewhere kind of around Valdosta, Georgia. And we got to go into the prison at night. It was supposed to be haunted. At one point, this jail used to have hangings and stuff there at the jail. They had the hole in the floor and everything right by like the jail cells and stuff where they would keep the inmates. And there was something, I'm trying to think, this was years ago when this happened. I'm trying to remember how the story went with the jail. The jailer and like the chief of police like went kind of crazy, and he kind of locked himself in the jail and locked all the doors with him and all of the inmates and wouldn't let anybody in. He kind of held the inmates hostage for like a month or something like that. So there's some stories that he killed himself in there. Yeah, exactly. And so we got to go in at night to this haunted prison is what it was back then, because this was back in like the early 1900s, I think, was when this place was open. And so at night we went up where like the segregation was. They had the long narrow hallways with the jail beds and stuff, and there was like, it wasn't like the jails these days that have like the big concrete cells and stuff like that. It looked like a house is what it looked like. Oh, my husband's home, so my dogs are about to actually go crazy. If you guys wanted to see what that looks like. I'll turn around and see through them. They like go crazy when Dad gets home. We were upstairs and we got to sit like where they did the hanging, by the drop floor and the bed where the inmate would have like their final meal and their last sleep and everything like that. And we would sit there with like the EVP recorder and things like that, and we could talk or see if we could make any communication with any of the inmates and stuff. And I swear I had somebody touch my shoulder. So that's like my big thing. That was my big experience. I need to see if he needs me to help. I'm gonna sit this down here for with the dogs and run out here and see if he needs me. He's got a bad ankle, and I might have to help him with the motorcycle. I'll be right back. it's me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, it wasn't Dad. Thank you. Anyway, you guys are sweet. Thank you. But anyway, back to my story. So that was my experience, but I think there was probably, if you're still in here, Chris, there was like a dozen of us that were there that night, and a couple of the people swore that they had like even had people talk to them that night. They actually had on the recording some weird sounds and stuff that were up there. If it was really quiet, you could hear the clanging a little bit on the metal. The place had been abandoned for years. So that's about my biggest paranormal thing. I never got to go on any more of the hunts because they ended up moving. There they are. Oh, they didn't get all excited like they usually do. Onyx, the other one, is usually like all jumping on him. She's like being all tame now. They made liars out of me, guys. Sorry.
It's because I got off the motorcycle. Like I said, she's scared that I'm gonna make the loud noise. What are you doing, sir?
She is not used to him being on the motorcycle, is what it is.
I'm not used to being on.
My husband had ankle surgery last year, so he hasn't been on the motorcycle for like about a year. Every once in a while, ever since he's been back on riding the motorcycle, Onyx has been like terrified of the sound. I'm putting this in the oven. And then I'll just kind of go sit down for a few. But yeah, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, so do you have any? What about you, Chris? Have you had any paranormal experiences? I'm sorry, my hair is like I'm just me. I'm kind of like new to the live stuff. I do stuff on YouTube, on TikTok some, but I'm kind of new to the YouTube stuff.
It's okay, you're one of few that don't wear makeup.
Yeah, I don't wear makeup. I don't care. I mean, you either like me or you don't. I don't care. I've worked at a prison. I grew up on a farm. I work in kind of the healthcare industry. But I'm just kind of me. Worked in construction too, but that was the project manager assistant. Where's everybody from that's in here? Well, never mind. I know what you guys are at. You just ripped a fart. I hope you feel better. That's kind of a natural thing to do. I mean, you know, everybody does that once in a while, I think. Nothing wrong with that. California. What's the weather like over in California today? I have a coworker that lives over in California. Can't remember exactly where in California, but he's over in California. I was in New Jersey. One of my ex-husband was stationed at Fort Dix for his forget, he was in the Army. God, that was a long time ago. I was in my like early 20s. I'm now 50. I'm trying to think of what training it was, but he was at Fort Dix. I just remember those guys referred to that as like the armpit of New Jersey. There was like nothing there. I know it made New Jersey look bad because I've rode motorcycle through parts of New Jersey that looked really, really pretty. So I'm not going to hold Fort Dix towards you guys. I am originally from Ohio. I've lived in Colorado. I've lived in Texas. I've lived in Georgia twice, Virginia twice, North Carolina. And I now call Bristol, Virginia, my home, which is right on the border of Tennessee and Virginia. If any of you guys are into NASCAR, the Bristol Motor Speedway is like about 15 minutes from the house. So it's kind of cool. I like NASCAR. Haven't been to one of the races. Oddly enough, I haven't been to a race since we moved here, which is about 2 years ago. Soon. I think we're going to make it this year, though. We've just been busy. We bought a house here and stuff, so we've been working on getting that fixed up and stuff. You know how that is. Life gets in the way. So, any idea what set off set off Iran this weekend? I mean, I haven't, I've been so busy with work and stuff. I work 4 10-hour days, and I don't always get the opportunity to catch up on some of the different things going on. I kind of caught that, and it was just like, whoa, let me get on my live and see if, if some folks out there can maybe, can kind of help. I mean, I know there's been a bunch of stuff with Hamas, and I knew about that big celebration and stuff. They got attacked a few months ago and stuff, and they've been dealing with all the hostages and the crisis with trying to get get food and everything else over there. But beyond that, I don't know if you really have to have a reason to set Iran off. I mean, I guess if you put the U.S. in the middle of anything, it's going to set those guys off. But I didn't realize that Iran and Iraq and Israel had any issues. I guess maybe I'm being a little naive there, but I just don't remember. I don't remember even being married to my ex, the one that's in the military. I don't remember even him talking about anything like that. 4 10-hour days is really nice, but I think it's still, they could give me, I could get 4-day weekends, and it still isn't long enough to have time off. It's just the way it goes. I think we're just never happy. It's kind of like having like 2 weeks paid vacation. It's like you go back to work. It's like, man, I could have taken another 2 weeks, and it, I could have taken it, but you still want more. I've concluded that we're just, as humans, we're just never happy. We just want more, especially our society these days. We just are never happy. We want instant gratification. We want it now. I mean, look at our kids. I mean, they heaven forbid we take their phones away from them, or they can't get their their TikTok videos or whatever. I have that problem. Or heck, look at our jobs. If our internet goes down or our electricity goes out, we're dead in the water. I work for a call center. I'm that person behind the call may be monitored or recorded for quality. I audit call centers, and if the internet goes down, I can't do my job. I just all right, I'm gonna watch a movie or something on my phone until the internet comes back, or the electricity or something. What? Oh my gosh, she's growling at the TV. I don't know if I can catch her. Oops, turn around. What's wrong, Onyx? What? She's growling at the TV. What is it? She started growling. There was a person on the TV. Yes, I play video games too. I'm a big child. I ride motorcycles. I play video games. I work. I cook. I play with the dogs. I keep pretty busy. But it is what it is. I don't have kids at home anymore, so I entertain myself. My kids are all grown and live in Ohio. I've got 3 grandsons and 2 granddaughters. No, 3 granddaughters. I lost one of them. One of them passed away back in 2021 at 18 months old. But I still have 3 granddaughters. My old peanut butter girl is always going to be my old peanut butter girl. But Yeah, so it's always cool though. I'm a cool grandma because I get on and I can play Apex Legends, which is a first person shooter game, with my grandson and my son at the same time. So, yeah, so I guess when the trolls get on here, I get, I have a friend that gets on YouTube, and, well, I think she's still my friend. Sometimes she gets mad at me. I don't play Call of Duty. I am a Battlefield girl. Sorry. I find that people are either into Battlefield or they're into Call of Duty. I'm a Battlefield girl. Um, I've always played video games, but I never really got into the multiplayer online gaming until back in 26, about the end of 2015. No, I take that back. Semi into the multiplayer gaming if you count Guitar Hero when it was for the Wii. That was back when my son was still in school, in high school and stuff. Because we would play Guitar Hero against other people, but we didn't know who they were. It wasn't like you could like converse with them or anything. You would just like randomly play guitar against them, and then they'd move on. But it was always neat when my teenage son would blow off his friends because he wanted to hang out with his mom. His friends always wanted to come over to our house because they could hang out and play video games, and I'd play video games with them. Heck, I'd make up brackets and stuff. Yeah, right. Oh, I still have my Wii. I still have my guitars for Guitar Hero. Every once in a while, I'll get them out and play. But these days, I play the Xbox X, Series X. And I actually met my husband playing Battlefield 1. We met back in 2016, and we've been together ever since. You do not play video games to find a significant other ever. It just happened. I was playing with some of my friends, and he came in and he was a friend of one of the friends I was hanging out with, and we just kind of hit it off, and we started hanging out, and the rest is history. And then I brought him to the dark side, and he started riding motorcycle. We don't even ride together. He works. He actually works at the Harley dealership now, and they're closed on Sundays and Mondays, and I work on Mondays. So he's off on every other Sunday. He's off tomorrow, so that's kind of cool. We'll actually get to hang out and do stuff. Best beginner bike. It depends on a brand. Do you have a certain brand that you're looking at or thinking about? If you're thinking of Harley, my bike was the Sportster. If you're looking at kind of a smaller bike to start at, but I've known people that started with the bigger bikes. My first one, because I'm 5'1", I'm a little shorty. I started with an 883 XL, super low. I actually got it brand new because it was cheap. It's like the Ford Escorts of the Harleys. It's a throwaway bike. It wasn't gonna bother me if I dropped it. It was new, so I didn't have to worry about if it was taken care of or whatever. But if you know what you're doing, if you know bikes or whatever, then you're good. If you get used ones, I wasn't that smart when I bought my first bike. My ex-husband was the one that I was with when I got my first bike, and he was just very he didn't know bikes back then either. But so I ended up with an 883 XL. So if you're looking for something like that, Honda Shadow is a good one. I'm trying to think. Yamaha makes a good one too, but I can't remember what their name is. I could go up and ask Blake. He knows all that kind of stuff really well. But some of the smaller bikes are good starter bikes. But if you're a taller, bigger guy, bigger girl, whatever, some of the bigger bikes might be better for you. And then it's, are you looking for a cruiser? Are you looking for a faster bike? I'm not big into the speed, so you'll never see me on like a Ninja or any of those kind of bikes. So yeah. A lot of it just depends. The best advice I can give on motorcycle: go sit on bikes. Go sit on bikes. Sit on bikes. Just go to dealerships. Your local dealerships, whether if you have a brand that you like, a manufacturer that you like, whether it's Indian, whether it's Valkyrie. I don't think Valkyrie is even around anymore, but they used to have some cool looking bikes. Just the style was kind of neat and kind of futuristic looking. Um, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Harley, whatever. Just go and sit on bikes. You will know your bike as soon as you sit on it, and that's the bike you should go for. That's any fit specialist at any dealership. If they are good at their job, will help you with that. They aren't going to just throw you on a bike. You should be comfortable on your bike. You should feel like you can handle your bike. Yeah, that's just the best advice I can offer. There's lots of cool bikes out there, but I mean, I ride a 2015 Road King. 5'1", I ride a big beefy Road King now. I graduated. But yeah, I started small. I didn't realize I was going to outgrow it that quick. But I also started riding in Colorado and loved the mountains. And I liked the curves. I loved the counter steering of the curves, the challenge of the riding in the mountains. Not because of the speed. I don't ride like a grandma. If I start riding like a grandma, then I better stop riding because I don't want to ride like a grandma. I hate being in the back of the pack. It drives me bonkers when I'm behind somebody and they start slowing down in the middle of a curve. It's like, get out of my way. If you can't do it, move. Get behind me. I like my curves, but not like, I won't, if it's like a 20-mile-an-hour curve, I might take it like 30, 40-ish, but I'm not going to go flying like 50 and like take my floorboards off either. But yeah. Some people will do that. You go to the Dragon and you're going to see a bunch of sports bikes flying around those curves. What is that, like 311 curves in like an 11-mile stretch of road through the mountains? It's dangerous. There's a reason that if you look up the tail of the Dragon, they have a tree of shame from motorcycles, cars, that have wrecked on that strip of road because it's just dangerous. People take it they don't respect the road. I remember riding one time with my ex for Mother's Day. I wanted to go ride Tail of the Dragon, and we rode. I always recommend doing that kind of stuff not on the weekends because they get really busy. But we were riding and some of those kinds of places will have people. I think this company is called Bad Boy or Sad Boy photographers. They'll line up at different curves around that strip or that road, and they will take pictures, like those really fast pictures. And if you know what strip of the road that you were on around what time, you can go online and you can buy your pictures. You can actually buy your action pictures, so it's really freaking cool. But this guy was on a Ducati and he was showing off around one of those curves, and I seen the pictures. It was really funny. In slow motion, you seen him giving the peace sign and going straight off of the road, off the curve. 4 more feet and his Ducati would have dropped right off of that cliff. He got lucky and fell off before it got to that point, or he could have got hurt really, really bad. He walked away from it. We helped pull his Ducati up off the side of the mountain, and he drove off, thank God. But he asked the photographer to please don't post those on the website because his wife was never going to let him ride again. Yeah, I probably would have been like upset with that too. But I mean, I'm that wife that got upset because my husband sold his bike because he had ankle surgery. Right now he's riding mine because he's going to have another surgery coming up here in a few months. He just can't catch a break with that darn ankle. So Chris, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? Do you ride? Are you planning on ride, or do you know someone getting ready to ride? I'm just yip yapping away. You got me talking motorcycles. Oh, okay. And you're up around you're the one that's from New Jersey. You may have heard of the organization I used to be in, Rolling Thunder. It's backwards, but it's called Rolling Thunder. I know there's our national chapter is actually up in New Jersey. I think it's there's a New Jersey chapter 3. I know a few people in that one, but I used to be in that organization. They have a big thing in Washington D.C. every Memorial Day weekend. They're an organization that does a lot for the veterans. Their mission is raising awareness and educating the public for prisoner of war and missing in action. Don't know if you're into that kind of stuff, but once you get your bike, one of the cool things about riding a motorcycle is the networking and all the people that you get to meet while riding. Motorcycle folks love to do charity stuff, and I had joined that organization. I was the founding secretary of the Georgia 3 chapter, and then I was in like 3 or 4 other chapters. But the last chapter I was in dissolved because of lack of membership, so I just kind of like stayed out of it. Now I just kind of supported a bunch of other different things. But yeah, that'll be cool. Do you know what you're looking at as far as motorcycles? I forgot to ask people. It's like, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I'm not good at telling people to hit the thumbs up like my like my stream. I'm terrible about that. I should start asking people, like my stream if you like my content. Subscribe if you like my dogs. Help me grow my channel. I'm terrible about promoting myself. I'm horrible at it. I love people. I like to visit with people. I'm a very big people person, but I'm terrible at promoting myself. I'm not a big at bragging about myself at all. I think that will be my detriment in the social media world. That will be my detriment. My channels won't grow because I'm not out there saying, "Do this for me, please. Do this for me, please. Support my channel. Do this." I'm not that good at that. Honestly, YouTube. I've had my channel for a few years, but I really haven't really tried to grow it until the last maybe 2 or 3 months. My intent with this channel is primarily about my dogs. My dogs give me like tons of content. They're silly. Shar-Pei are just a unique breed of dog as it is. But I also play video games, so I kind of I've been trying to figure out how to set up my streaming and stuff for my gaming, but I don't know how well that'll go over. My son keeps kind of pushing me that direction. So I've been kind of trying to grow that way, but my intent with that is, no, I don't have an Instagram yet. I do have a TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I'm getting there. I was actually more on TikTok than I was on YouTube. But my intent with the YouTube, is to grow and eventually get it monetized to help with offsetting vet bills. I mean, I don't, I've got a job and everything. I'm not going to be like one of those channels that's constantly begging for money or anything like that. I have a full-time job. I don't, God, we have plenty of channels out there that are constantly begging for money and stuff like that. We don't need another one of those channels on YouTube. There's plenty of those out there. If people want to like throw their money that direction, then those people need more money than I do. Mine is more if people would like to help with, the upkeep with the dogs, because they're awesome dogs. They, if you've ever looked at any of the videos, you'll see how silly they are. So that's the intent with my channel here. I plan on doing lives to come on and just kind of chit chat and stuff like that. I'll have to look into the Instagram once I get a little bit more used to the two that I've got. I think I'm doing fairly good considering I'm not super savvy. I've got a Facebook, but I've had Facebook. I think everybody's had Facebook forever. I just get tired of Facebook. Facebook is just kind of boring to me. I've got so many friends and stuff on Facebook from like school and stuff. I get to show my age. It's kind of like it just becomes like a place to just kind of keep in touch with everybody. That's about all I do. It's just kind of a way to keep in touch with people from my past. But I'm on TikTok. I've actually got 1,000 followers on TikTok, where I can go live on TikTok, and I've got a really cool group of people and stuff that I've met there. So I'll go in and chit chat and stuff on there. I've been learning the battles. I'm not real good at the battles either because I'm terrible at like, give me money, give me gifts. I'm not good at trying to get people to do that kind of stuff. But that one's been more for like me and stuff, because I do cooking. I do cooking shows and stuff on there. I've learned CapCut. I do some video editing and stuff through the CapCut software. I've been kind of the YouTube studio, the YouTube creator stuff is not that exciting to me. It's kind of boring. So I do more of like creating on my videos and stuff, and then I'll bring them over to YouTube and upload them. So I kind of do it that way. But I'll have to check out the Instagram stuff. I know I've got an Instagram through my Facebook, because I'll get notifications saying that I got a message or something on Instagram. Same thing with Snapchat. I've never been big on the Snapchat either. Snapchat just never really did anything for me. I did try it, but I just didn't really like it. Snapchat was boring for me. But I'll check out the Instagram. So it's just another way to get them some exposure, because one of the things I'll do with the lives is, I was going to do it here this weekend, but it's been so windy, it defeats the purpose, is go out for walks with the dogs and take them out for walks and stuff. I tried to do like a dog cam. I took my selfie stick and I put it down like on the ground and got it down to their level, and I did a video, and I can't remember what I said I should have done. I should have turned like my light on my camera, because it was a kind of a dark, because both the dogs are black. They're both darker colors, and it was dark in the room. But Onyx didn't know how to feel about having the camera that low to the ground and me kind of getting close to her with a stick. She started barking and like acting like she was gonna play with it or something. It was kind of a funny video, so I uploaded that. That was kind of cute. But there's silly things. They'll start playing tug of war or something, or I have a video that's like 2 parts. Onyx had gotten a stuffed. I guess it's like a piece of toast. I didn't know what it was, but my best friend said it looked like a piece of toast. We called it Dot. We didn't know what it was. So it looked like a dot. Onyx had gotten it when she was a puppy from the vet. It was one of her first toys. And yes, eventually we're going to have some more dogs. Yes, absolutely. I want to again once I'm starting to grow the channel. There's a Shar-Pei rescue here in Virginia that I'm already getting my foot in to be with them. They already know I'm interested. I've been around Shar-Pei most of my life. My mom had them when I was growing up, and these two are my fourth and fifth dogs that I've had since I've been an adult. I love Shar-Pei. So they're not the easiest breed. They're kind of like if you look at pit bulls and Rottweilers and some of those dogs that are kind of a stubborn breed, Shar-Pei can be very stubborn and very just honoring. But they're very loyal dogs, very loving dogs. I was watching a video one day that really had them to a T when it came to drinking water with them. You just plan on having water all over the floor with a Shar-Pei because they described it perfectly. It's like plunger when they're drinking water. They'll go in and it's all in. Because they've got those big meaty jaws. They can't just lick water and lick it up like like a lab or like a little rat terrier or some of the dogs that don't have the big jowly meaty lips. These guys will suck water up, and then when they walk away, it just falls back out. Like if you can imagine a plunger, you plunge down and it gets the water up in the plunger, and then just like dumps out. That's a Shar-Pei drinking water, exactly to a T. I'm gonna have to go out and check these pies. I can smell them. Yeah. So I mean, I want to get more involved with the rescue. So again, another reason I want to grow the channel, so that way that can help with offsetting the funds when I do get the rescues. Because what happens with the Shar-Pei is people love these dogs. You see them on greeting cards all the time because they get wrinkled. They've got lots of wrinkles. If you see mine don't have a lot of wrinkles. They do have wrinkles, but not a lot like what you see on like the greeting cards. I do that for a reason, because the more wrinkles that a Shar-Pei has, the more skin issues they are most likely going to have, because they get because of those wrinkles in the folds, they get yeast and get skin irritations. They also have very teeny tiny ear canals, just because of their breed, that everything gets stuck down in their ear canals and they get ear infections. So again, vet bills constantly for the upkeep of their dogs. So I have to take Bella, the older one. She's on Apoquil. Each day she takes a pill for her skin issues because of the breed. Sorry, just checking that. Those things smell good. Pot pies, like the easiest, cheapest thing ever. They're like $1, $1 a piece. But the vet bills are crazy high because of that. Then you've got eye problems sometimes with them. They get what's called entropion. And bulldogs have this problem sometimes too. Pugs, I don't think pugs as much. Pekingese gets them. I think from my best friend has Pekingese, and she said that sometimes they get them where their eyelids will roll inwards. They have those big folds on their eyelids, but it'll push down, and it'll make their eyelids roll inwards, where their eyelashes will rub on their eyeballs, and that causes irritations. If you see, like, sometimes dogs, if you ever see a dog that they get the running water, it looks like they're constantly crying down their face, a lot of that is because their eyelids have started to roll inwards and their eyelashes are rubbing on their eyeball. It's not just Shar-Pei. If you ever, any breed, if you ever look at that, but most likely that's usually what's causing that. Yeah, right. But it's fixable. They can do what's called entropion surgery, and what that does is they take just a little teeny tiny piece of skin of their skin, and stitch it, so that it brings the eyelid back up. Not all of them have it. Um, a lot of times when they're puppies, they'll do what they call tacking of their eyes. Because if you've ever seen a Shar Pei puppy, oh my God, they are adorable. So cute. But again, a lot of the times they have even more wrinkles. And they do eventually, they start to grow into the wrinkles, but they have a hard time seeing, because of the wrinkles and the eyelid thing. A lot of like the breeders, or even if they're mixed and stuff, they'll still tack their eyes so that way they can see. And the hope is when they grow into their skin, they'll not have to have that entropion surgery at all. Onyx, her eyes look really really good, but when I went to get her spayed, I started noticing her kind of doing this number, and it's starting to kind of roll a little bit, in her left eye. It's not watering bad, but I have noticed her starting to kind of itch at it a little bit. So again, another reason I'm trying to grow the channel. It's not that I can't totally afford it, but it does eventually start to build up. With the economy and everything else these days, who knows? We're okay right now, but 6 months down the road, who knows? Who knows what tomorrow brings? Again, I'm not going to get on here and start begging for money or anything like that. There's ways to pay for it. There's that care credit card and things like that. But if you've got a way to try to provide content that is entertaining for folks, and if they like it and are willing to, whatever, if they're willing to just kind of throw a couple dollars here or there or whatever through your channel somehow, whether it's whatever, I don't even know what all's offered there. I know they've got like the watch times and things like that. I'm like not even close to even getting there. I've got 200 and something subs so far, and I think I've got to have like 1,000 subs and X amount of watch hours. So I've got to start getting on here live more. I've been trying to put out videos. I think I've gotten like 60 videos out now, but it seems like the algorithm is big on the shorts. I could take like an hour or so video of just the dogs, but a lot of times they're sleeping. I work from home, so a lot of times they will crash in our bed. They'll be in there just sleeping all day. It's like, all right, you lazy things. Like, great dogs, great guard dogs when they're awake, but a lot of times they'll be asleep. But so that's kind of the intent of my channel. But I do want to start working with that rescue, because like I just said, they get expensive, but people will like them because they're such cool dogs. They're lovable, they're loyal, they're gorgeous dogs, but then they don't realize what they're getting themselves into when it comes to the upkeep and everything. And then what happens? They take them to the pound, or they throw them out in the street because they can't afford them. And then they end up in rescues that are overrun, or a pound that wants to kill them. And they're such good dogs. If I could keep every single one of them, I would. Yes, I do. I have a bunch of shorts that are up on my page. I think I've got a total of 60 videos, but there's a couple of them aren't related to the dogs. I've got a couple that are like private videos that I've done like over the years. Like I think one I've got like hidden because it was actually a video I did for my ex-husband's brother that passed away from cancer, which is funny because YouTube put a copyright strike on it. Well, they put a copyright thing on it. I was afraid it was a strike, but they said it wasn't going to affect it wasn't a strike, but there was a song that I had used. I had purchased the song from Apple way back when you could actually use that. That was back in the early 2000s. But I had uploaded on there so that way the family could still have it for memory. But I've got some videos on there that not everybody has access to, just because they were personal for things like that. But I do have some videos from where Bella was a puppy that I've uploaded that I'm been trying to kind of go back through and like now that I understand how the how the hashtags work and things like that. I didn't know way back when any of that kind of stuff, but trying to put the hashtags and stuff on those so people can enjoy those. Because Bella she has her own attitude. I call her Miss Priss. She's like the queen around here. She's my antisocial dog. I've never had an antisocial dog. Not a mean bone in her body, but everything has got to be in Bella's time. I've never had a dog like her. My ex fell in love with her because he thought she'd be lovable. Farthest thing from the truth ever. We went to pick her up, and I didn't want her. I didn't want her. She was not like any of the other puppies at all. Nothing like the puppies. Usually you see puppies and they all want to jump on you. They want to kiss you. They want to jump in your lap. They're all happy go lucky. Nope, not Bella. Nope. She came in with the other puppies and she went whoop, off to the side, laid down, didn't want to have anything to do with us or the puppies. Nope. She's like, nope, I'm done. Y'all just go do your thing. Y'all go away. So the guy that we got her from, he went and he picked her up, brought her over to my husband, and put her in his arms, and he fell in love with her because she didn't move. He thought she'd be a great lap dog. Brought her home, where he was like, "Do you think we can work with her? Do you think you think we can handle her?" And I'm like, "You mean me?" Because I work from home and I had trained our last dogs, and so I was like, "Yeah, of course." And so we got her and brought her home, put her down on the ground, and the first thing she does is right under the table. We had the chairs and stuff down. Went to get her from under the table. Shoot, to the other side of the table she went. You walked around the side of the table to get her. Poop, she went to the other side of the table. She did that for like 10 minutes. She would not let you touch her. She was not having any of it. After like 2 days of trying to coax this dog to you, I decided that, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. This is frustrating. So I went and got her choker chain and her leash. And for 3 months, that dog walked around with a choker chain and a leash on until I could get her trained to come to me. And even then, it was like a battle. They said they get a little headstrong. Yeah, they do. They really do. As long as you get them and you socialize them, they are wonderful with other dogs. I will say that if they're not socialized with other dogs are intimidated by them. The reason why is because of their tails, and their stance. Their stance and their tails is like is kind of a stance of aggression to other dogs. I've seen a lot of people on the Shar-Pei pages that I belong to. A lot of Shar-Pei owner groups that I belong to have had their dogs attacked by other dogs just because they were walking or just because they were standing there. It's because of their stance. They stand very square, and their tail is up and curled. And I guess they just have a look to them. Some of the veterinarians on those pages have always said that it has a lot to do with their stance and their stature. It's intimidating. Don't know why, but it is. They're pretty happy-go-lucky dogs for the most part. They can be aggressive. They're very loyal. They're very protective. They were bred and raised to be protector dogs for the Chinese and herding dogs. So that was kind of their nature. You can if you watch a Shar-Pei in their natural habitat, like with their families, Most Shar-Pei will patrol. If you watch them, it's just their nature. They will patrol the house and then they'll go and they'll lay down or whatever. Every Shar-Pei I've ever had, I don't train them to do that. They just have done it. Even Bella and Onyx, when we sit down to eat or whatever in the living room, Bella takes a lap around the house and then she'll go and she'll eat. She won't eat if we're not out in the living room. She just doesn't mess with her food. Onyx, she'll eat some, but then I've had dogs that will eat constantly. But yeah, for the most part, because we had a black lab before we got Onyx. I've got a video of Bear and Bella playing. We lost Bear to cancer right before we got Onyx. Our goal was to get Onyx so that Bear and Bella could help raise him or raise her. But we lost Bear to cancer. He was a big lug. He's a big goofball. But there's a video of Bear and Bella roughhousing in North Carolina. Now, the Shar-Pei thing, when they're wrestling and playing, they will turn and put their butt to whoever they're wrestling. So another funny thing about the dogs. But yeah, so I love the Shar-Pei breed. I'm very passionate about my dogs. If you can't tell. They're my babies. I think that's kind of a human thing. They call him man's best friend for a reason, you know. Some people are cat people. I'm a dog person. Yeah, see, there you go. Some people are very big on their cats. Cats let us take care of them. Cats, I think, own the home. They just let you live there. They're like, take care of my stuff, please. Give me my food, please. Bring it here. I had a cat. I had a cat one time because I've had cats before too. I had a cat that I was big into. I was very big into wrestling at one time, and I liked the luchador wrestlers. And back then, my favorite was Juventud Guerrera. So I had this male cat, and I named him Juventud. So I called him Hoovy. This cat was so weird. He would spit on you to clean himself. You know, the cats would, you know, they'll clean themselves. Juventud would, you could feel him on himself and then clean himself. It was great. I was like, what is wrong with you, cat? You're so weird. My husband thought that was the cutest thing ever. I was like, this is disgusting. This cat spits on you. It was always funny.
In the building that you said you guys were in, and then y'all went there?
I think our stuff is ready.
Sounds like there's someone down the road.
Yay, supper's ready. It's such an easy thing to do. If you're ever single and want something like super quick, pot pies. Easiest thing ever. They're cheap, $1. $1 at Kroger, usually. Throw them in the oven for like half an hour, and boom, you're done. Let's see. Let those sit for a minute. And then I'll probably get off here so that way we can eat. And then I'm going to go play video games for the night, too. I've got some people to shoot on Apex, you know. Do you play video games by chance? I know I'm such a big child. My son and I were up until like 3 o'clock this morning trying to rank up an Apex. He usually gets up to like, you know, my husband likes to play Minecraft. We've been playing Grounded here lately. Have you played that one? Grounded, where you got shrunk, like you're shrunk the little kid and you're like dumped in the backyard. That one's kind of fun too, where you get attacked by the bugs, or you kill the bugs and stuff, and you can build things with the grass and stuff. That's kind of cool. I'm not big on the building. Blake loves to build. You will have to check out Grounded. It's kind of like an open world type game, kind of like Minecraft, but Minecraft is very digitally or pixelated. I think is the word. This is one of the newer games. Grounded is. I don't know. Are you PC, console? Yeah, that's usually the way it goes. Hey, you didn't know you'd come in here and find somebody that likes to play video games too, right? You just thought some old lady wanted to talk about Iraq and PC and PS4. See, I used to play on the PC, but I don't know. My son always played he had a PS4, and then I had the Xbox 360 and stuff. I was gonna say, if you're on Xbox, it's on the Game Pass right now. I think it's on the other. Yeah, I still like the Xbox. But Grounded's a cool game. You'll have to look it up on YouTube and watch one of the gameplay things. It's a fun game. We also get into I never played it on Xbox. I bet it was fun on Xbox. We used to do the bowling on Xbox 360. That was always fun. With the Kinect, the bowling, that was always fun. I've always been just a child. We've got, let's see, what else do we play? I think it sounds like he's playing DayZ also right now. It kind of sounds like he's playing DayZ. Don't know. I don't know what other kind of games you play. I play kind of a variety sometimes. He's playing DayZ, which is like oh yes, there you go. Hey, awesome. Somebody else knows DayZ. We get into playing DayZ. Do you ever watch Running Man Z with Paul? We're like huge fans of Paul. We'll sit. That's actually what we end up doing at nighttime when we're eating. We'll sit and watch Paul. That's bad. We sit and watch we'll sit and watch other gamers play while we eat supper. Again, we're just big children. Paul is fun to watch. Him and Amish Zed and Moeller. Yeah, we get to watching them and some of their events and stuff that they do, like the Lights Out event and stuff. But yeah, I didn't at first. I didn't like DayZ.
Yeah, that's kind of what fun.
My grandson keeps trying to get me to play Rainbow Six. I told him, I was like, I might try it. He keeps telling me, he's like, Grandma, you need to play Rainbow Six with me. Maybe I'll try it and I'll let you know if I like it or not. I think it's on Game Pass right now, so I could even play it for free, and then decide if I like it or not. That's the nice thing about the Xbox, is having that Game Pass, because they usually have like tons and tons of games that you can actually like play for free, and before you actually buy the whole game, and then invest like in all the DLCs and stuff. I used to be big into Destiny. I was always big into. I played Destiny 1. And I was big into Destiny 2, but it's like somewhere along the line they just kind of like left us behind or something. I haven't played Destiny 2 for like probably the last maybe 3 seasons now, and I didn't even get the last expansion. I'll have to, maybe I'll have to try it. Well, what game would you compare it to? And hold that fella right back. It sounds like my husband's playing Daisy. He's like, the Daisy's cool. I did not play that either. But okay, but I've seen the gameplay. So you compare it to that? Okay. Because that looks like a fun game. That is on the Game Pass too. I actually have that one. Didn't I? I think they had that on 360. I actually have that that game. I just have not played it. Blake and I we game share on our Xboxes. So the games that oh, okay. I thought you were saying that that's what it's compared to. I like that. It looked like alfalfa. We game share on our Xboxes. I don't know if you guys can do that on the PlayStation. Where whatever games he had, I can play, and vice versa. When we got together, it was kind of funny because he lived in North Carolina and I was in Virginia when we met. And sorry, my eye is itching. We had date nights, long distance, because we never seen each other hardly at all. It was like we hung out like 2 years before we met, pretty much. And we had date nights on Amazon. We had I played Call of Duty. Okay. Okay. I gotcha. Okay. I'll have to try it out. You ever play PUBG? I used to play PUBG a lot. PUBG's kind of cool. We quit playing it for a while because we were playing PUBG before, or while it was still broken. Ugh, it was horrible. That game was almost unplayable. It was. I guess I kind of liked some of the battle royale stuff, but PUBG was like really, really bad there for a while. And I think they had a thing going back and forth between Fortnite at one point.
No,
I think it was them. I think it was them and Fortnite had like there was a lawsuit between. I think it was PUBG trying to be like Fortnite or one or the other. I can't remember. But it took them a while to update PUBG during that time. It's kind of funny the way the gaming industry goes, you know. It's like the Halo Dynasty. It's like, what is that noise? My neighbor's outside my window mowing. It's like, maybe I'll just come over and mow my yard. I doubt it. No, we mowed last weekend. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I work back here in my office. Like my work stuff is here, and then my TV's over here with my Xbox. So it's like, yeah, I can work and then on my lunch break just turn and play some Apex or whatever and go back to work. he likes playing DayZ with some of his friends right now, which is fun. That means he's pacified, so I can play with my son. I don't have to worry about him tonight. I'm good. I know some of the games we can actually they can play crossplay. Are you married with kids or anything? So that'd be cool. You'd be a cool dad. That's not a bad thing. That's a rare thing these days to not have kids at your age. It's not a bad thing. Enjoy it while you can. Once you have little ones, then they take up a lot of your time. But you can still be a cool gamer dad. But I was all my son was all into sports and stuff too. he tells me, he still tells me that I not married, just you have a stepson? Oh, so you're divorced? Is that did I understand that right? I'm trying not to I'm not good at eating on on camera. I've got friends that do those mukbang things. I'm just yeah, I'm afraid I'm gonna spit and the food's just gonna go right up on the camera. That will be my luck. I do the ASMRs for the dogs. There's a couple videos of that too, where they're eating their chew bones. That's cool. How was your stepson? Or you mind me asking? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm being too personal. Ooh, I put a lot of pepper on that. Oh, those are fun ages. 11, 9. Those are the fun ages. Not old enough to be super, super mouthy, but young enough that they just want to hang out with you. They're like little sponges. Does he follow you around and want to do everything with you? My son was always like that with my ex. It wasn't his biological dad. They might as well have been. I was married to my ex for 26 years, and my son was 3 when we got together. So he's pretty much the only dad that he ever knew, and he was Tim's buddy. He wanted to do everything with him. They would do home improvement projects and all kinds of stuff, and that's kind of cool now because my son has some of that stuff stuck to him. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, those were such cool ages. We'd take off, and him and I would go fishing, and he was all into baseball and football and stuff. And I was like super mom. I'd work, I'd come home, we'd go fishing, or I'd take him to his baseball games. My ex wasn't into all that stuff. I'm a kind of a tomboy, I guess. I guess that's a good term to put it. But I was always around guys. I never really had a lot of female friends because I just can't deal with all the cattiness. And my husband's he's like, babe, you don't have too many female friends. I was like, yeah. It's there's reasons. I was like, one, there's not too many girl gamers out there. Most of my friends are guys, and they're all they're guy gamers. So my friends are my husband's friends. And even people my age kind of look at me weird. They're like, you shouldn't be playing games. You're not like a kid. I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm a big ass kid. Leave me alone. I'm never growing up. If I grow up, something's wrong with me. It does, and it just keeps getting faster and faster and faster. But even though my body will tell me sometimes that I'm 50, My mind doesn't. um, I have to be very, I guess, I know I'll probably eventually get flack for it or whatever, but there's a pretty big, there's an age difference between my husband and I, but he's actually more mature than I am, so it doesn't matter. Um, he's I've never been I've never been one to take life too seriously. I don't I don't want to be remembered as somebody that just was a fuddy-dud. Um, I've always, people will ask you sometimes, how do you want to be remembered? Well, is it nice to have money? Yes. Always. It's always nice to have money because you can pay bills and things like that. My ex is in the military. He's been in there for like 30 something years. He's still in the military. I got him up to an officer. When we split up, I did not take him for half of everything, which I could have. I asked him for like $1,500 a month out of his retirement. That's it. I wanted happiness and I wanted stability. And I still wanted him to be happy. People tell me I'm stupid for that. Maybe so. I kind of miss that financial stability, but I'm happy. I don't care. You cannot take money with you. As long as I got a roof over my head, bills are paid, food in my belly, our belly, between me and my husband, the dogs are taken care of, we're good. I want to be remembered as what kind of impact did I leave on you? Do you remember good memories, bad memories? Do you remember what kind of heart I had? Was I a good person? Was I a bad person? I mean, I can be the capital C word. I won't say it because not everybody appreciates that word, but that word does not offend me. I worked in a prison before. I've worked on construction sites. It doesn't bother me. I worked, one of the construction sites that I worked at was a renovation and addition of a prison even, where I walked across the job site hearing, here kitty, 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 kitty. I don't get offended much. Life is too short to take everything so seriously. You need to be serious about things. I mean, you have to be sensible. But I also try to find a little bit of humor in everything too, even in morbid times, unfortunately, because even those kind of times are part of life. Sadly, it's like my dad and I kind of joke about even his death, and that's going to kill me when he dies. Yeah, lots of things. The first job site I had was I was told I went through a temp agency. I didn't hardly know computers at all, and they told me I was the most qualified person for the job. I was like, yeah. Afterward, that particular one was not. When I left that particular job site, I went to a company that was union. It was a union plumbing and HVAC company. Oh my God, those guys are a bunch of prima donnas too. I had union pipe fitters and sheet metal workers in the same company. Now try and get those two to try and work together. They wouldn't even share the same company truck. No. The iron workers would not share a truck with the same company. They both worked for the same company and would not share the same tools. They would not share the same company truck on the same job site. Freaking spoiled brats. always just amused me. I was like, y'all are a bunch of spoiled brats. I swear. I loved construction. Loved it. I had so much fun. I was the person. I had kind of a niche with that industry. I learned how to read the plans and specifications on commercial. I was not residential. Residential had no use for me. I did more commercial. We did design build. They did industrial also. They did a lot of work. It was in Ohio. And you can look them up. It's Kirk Williams Company. I think they should still be around. They're out of Grove City, Ohio. They probably still have some of my pictures on their website. But anyway, they labeled me as a project manager assistant. I worked really close with the purchasing agent. I helped run the bids. I didn't put the bids together, but I ran the bids. I'd take them to the bid. I'd write the bids down. I'd put all the packets together, and I was at the bid openings and things like that. I pulled together all of the submittals, made sure that they got submitted and approved, helped to get all the supplies, all the materials and stuff to the job site on time and correctly, because I had to make sure that everything got approved. I also maintained and compiled and everything, all the operation and maintenance manuals for the entire product, for the whole job site, for all the systems, all the plumbing and HVAC systems. Even when they wanted them in like triplicate, and sometimes they were like 4 or 5 3-ring 3-inch binders. Oh my god, that was a nightmare, some of those projects. There was one of me to like 5 of them. 5 project managers I had to one of me, and none of them had anything less than 3 jobs, nothing under $500,000. I was all over it back in the day. It was very high stress, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The only bad thing was it was such a niche job that, well, I was married in the military. We would move. So what would happen when I would move, I'd go to a new place. Nobody knew who I was. I'd have to reinvent myself. Nobody knew Kirk Williams Company. I mean, word of mouth. It's if you're in construction, people learn who you are. They know your work. They know what you're worth when they see your job, what your how well you do your job. Everybody knew me in Columbus, Ohio. They loved when they would see our job, our company on the job, because they knew that they'd get to work with me and Kim, or whichever project manager was on the job. They knew that our shit was going to be good. Then I moved to Texas and nobody knew who I was. I finally got out of the industry when I moved from there to Georgia, in Warner Robins, Georgia, and there was no commercial construction there at all. I went from doing that to baking cookies at Kroger and a part-time church secretary. A huge jump off a cliff. Now I've got a gravy job. That's a good question. So after that, I decided I needed to just change careers, because I had made 2 moves now and had to reinvent myself both times. The move from Ohio to Texas was hard enough. I ended up going through like 3 different companies when I went to Texas, because I couldn't find a steady job with a company. I found a decent job, and the funny thing with this weird ass company that I worked for, Mustang General Contracting was the name of the company. I have nothing against Hispanics. He was a really nice guy, Jerry. I don't remember what his last name was. I remember his name was Jerry, him and his wife. He had a business. He was running it out of a HUD house. How he was running a business out of a HUD house, one, I think that was a little illegal. his circus, his monkeys. I was just working there. He hired me to be his construction manager. Okay, that's fine. I went in there. He had a drawing table, standard drawing table, this high, all across that drawing table, unopened, unpaid bills, and wanted me to be able to get materials for him to his job sites. It wasn't happening. Nobody wanted to work with him. But somehow I was managing to get it done. He was bouncing checks. I didn't know it. He was bouncing checks all over San Antonio, Texas. He was bouncing them everywhere. I don't know how he was getting any of his jobs done. I'd worked at one job. I think it was the SBC Center or the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, it was very sketchy. I don't think he's in business. He wasn't in business much long after that. But I was with the San Antonio. There's a place called the SBC Center where the San Antonio Spurs played basketball. I don't know if they still are there, but they were. That's where they were going at that point. And he had some work there, and the general contractor that was there, I got to talking with them, and I did some work with them through him, and they liked the way I worked with them, so they got to know who I was. Anyway, so I had been with Jerry for 6 months, and I asked if I could go back to Ohio for Christmas that year to be with my grandparents and stuff. He said, sure. He gave me 2 weeks paid vacation. 6 months I'd been with him. He gave me 2 weeks paid vacation. Okay. Awesome. I'll take it. I wasn't gonna complain. I was like, man, I guess I was doing a really good job. He told me I was doing a good job, and he said that's why he gave me that. It was kind of like a Christmas bonus, I guess. I came back, walked into my office, and there's another lady sitting in my chair. I was like, what the heck? What is going on here? This lady had taken my job while I was gone. She had promised him the moon. She was gonna fix all his was gonna fix all his financial woes. I had met her at that job site, the one I'd mentioned to you about where the Spurs were going to be playing, and she had gotten fired by that general contractor. I knew she had gotten fired by that general contractor because they had told me about her. I knew about her, and I knew she was a dirty dirty girl. she was dumb as a box of rocks. And the fact that she took my job was hilarious. I knew she was being looked at to be hired, and her and I had already butted heads because she came into my office one day before I left on my vacation and was asking me 100 questions about my job. And I looked at her, I was like, who are you to be asking me questions about? That's company stuff. You don't even work here. You have no business knowing that information. That's company information that you don't work here. You don't have access to that. I mean, it'd be like telling your competition your secrets on how you do stuff. That's unethical. You don't do that. So her and I had kind of butted heads about that. Well, apparently that was the reason that I lost my job. I went into Jerry's office. I was like, why is Rhonda in my chair? And he says, I needed to talk to you. I said, okay. Why? What's going on? I said, because I'm confused. He says, I'm going to have to let you go. I said, what? Why? I was like, what'd I do? He's like, nothing. He says, you did a really good job for me. I said, then why are you letting me go? I don't understand. I said, you just let me have 2 weeks paid vacation, told me how good I was doing for you, and now you have to let me go? This doesn't even make any sense. And I'm laughing when I'm saying this to him. He says, well, he says, I knew you weren't getting along with Rhonda. And I went ahead and hired Rhonda, and it was just easier this way. He hands me an envelope, and he says, here's your final check. He tells me I can go ahead and go and take the rest of the day off. I take the check home and I scan it because we have USAA banking. I take it to the bank and stuff, and it bounces. My check bounced. It took me almost a month to get a check that actually cleared the bank out of those people. Oh my God. Even thinking about it's even funny. Thinking about it. So, um, yeah, the box of rocks. Yeah, a box of rocks was smarter than him. And her too. Gosh. So I went from that to, I went straight into working for, let's see, I worked for a company called Guido. They were like a concrete company. And I ended up getting laid off from there. I was like, all right, whatever. So I was getting some unemployment from them. And I'm not one, I don't like to just sit and do nothing. I think the unemployment office was threatening to maybe, I don't know if they were going to lower my unemployment or what, but I was just like, this is stupid. I don't even like sitting here to even collecting unemployment. So I went and I just found a job. It was for a land or a surveying company. And I can't remember the name of the company, but they were Indian people, which I never worked for Indian people before. I hope not to sound ungrateful, or I know it's going to sound like I'm being a bigot or whatever, but they're different people to work for. Well, at least this family was. I thought they were very nice at first, and then I started to get the hint, get the feel, the vibe of the office was really strange. The employees were to be seen and not heard. It was just the way, it was just, I think, their culture. It was just weird to me. I don't want to sound like racist or bigotry or anything like that, because that's really not what I'm meaning. Where I came from in Ohio, I was raised in a little tiny farming community in called South Solon. You can even look it up. It's like this little itty bitty spot in the middle of nowhere. And we had one black person in our school. So I didn't have a lot of cultural background. And then I went to San Antonio. It was culture shock for me. I just wasn't used to a lot of culture. So I was getting just exposed a lot. Again, not a bad thing. Excuse me, but I was getting smacked in the face with lots of culture. Some of it was just way strange to me, a little too strange for me. But it was normal for some people, but not for, it just was weird for me. So I didn't work out very well there. Yeah, I got fired. My mouth got me in trouble. Oh well, it happens. It just happens. I was hired as a receptionist. I wasn't even like a project manager or anything like that. I was a receptionist. I sat at the receptionist desk. I wasn't even making good money. Um, and I would run out of things to do. I would go back and help the filing clerk file, or I'd help type up labels, or I would just get bored. But I wasn't allowed to look at magazines. I wasn't allowed to just sit there. But I'm like, what am I supposed to do? There's nothing to do. But I wasn't supposed to get up and walk around either. I was lost. A girl that would relieve me for lunch would sit at my desk. She would look at her bank account on my computer. Apparently, Amy, Mr. Singh's daughter, was watching everything on everybody's computer. I didn't know. I didn't care. I wouldn't do anything. She thought it was me looking at my checkbook or my checking account or something on my computer. I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention to it. I didn't care. I wasn't doing anything I wasn't supposed to do. If anything, I was doing too much and getting in trouble for it. So there was a day that she kind of got on me about looking at magazines or something, and my manager told me that I could do it. My supervisor, not my manager. Amy was the manager. It was my supervisor that had said I could. I just had to be discreet about it. Well, Amy seen me do that, and she got mad at me. She put me in the office. My supervisor didn't stick up for me at all when I told Amy that I was told I could look at the magazines. And then she started in on me about how I would balance my checkbook on my computer. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she kept going on, and I put two and two together that it was that girl that would that fill in for me. She didn't want to hear anything about it. My supervisor did not stick up for me at all. So I was like, okay, I'm not making enough for this job. It's not worth my time. Might as well have stayed on the unemployment. So I get back out to my desk. I'm just aggravated. Amy comes out. Sasquatch is what all the employees called her, because she had these great big huge feet. They called her Sasquatch. That's not nice, but that's what they called her. She came out, and they had picked up this plastic covering that was on the carpet, and under it was a stain. I guess there was a coffee stain or something, and she got mad at me because there was a coffee stain. Like, that stain was there when they pulled that carpet thing up. But she wanted me to call the people in the building and have them come and get the stain out. Well, the people came. They couldn't get the stain out because the stain was like super old. And she came back around later, and she's like, I thought I told you to call the building maintenance people to tell them to come get this stain out. I was like, well, I did. And they tried, and they said that they couldn't. The stain is just too old. It's set down in the pad and everything. It's not coming out. And she says, I need you to call them again. And she just starts going off on me about this stupid stain. By this time, I've had enough. I'm done. I'm just so done. I'm just like, this job is not worth my time. I'm making $9 an hour. I was making like almost $20 an hour, and I'm making $9. You're not worth my time. I looked at her. I was like, fine, I'll do it. I'm almost up to here. I called him again, and I turned around. I was typing some labels, and Amy come back around, and she got snotty with me again over this stupid stain. And I turned around, and I looked at her because I didn't acknowledge her when she first said anything. I was typing a label, and she says, "Did you hear me?" And I turned around. I said, "Yes, I heard you." And she says, "What are you waiting on?" I looked at her. I said, "I'll do it after I'm done balancing my checkbook." She told me I needed to leave that day. She told me I needed to leave that day. Leave for the day. And so I did. I left for the day. She did not tell me I was fired. So don't you know I went back the next day? I'm bad. I told you, I am a big child. I'm not very mature for my age. They used to make us stand out in the hallway to punch a timesheet or time card. And if you were like a couple minutes late because you were standing in the line to time to punch your timesheet, they would dock you 2 minutes. They were so stupid. I got there at my normal time. All the employees were down at the end of the hallway. It wasn't time to line up yet. And I get down there, they're like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Come to work." They're like, "But I thought you got fired." I was like, "Nobody fired me. They told me just to go home for the day." "Hi, Myra, how are you?" I said, "They told me just to go home for the day." So I did. I said, they didn't tell me I was fired, so I came back. And they said, "Man, you caused a stir yesterday." "I'm doing good. How are you?" "Oh, I just asked you that, duh. I'm sorry." It was the food in my mouth that had it caused me a brain lapse. I was just telling a story about how I got fired from a job. So anyway, they said that when I left, Amy was yelling at everybody. She was going off on everybody about me. I was like, "Geez, okay." So it was time to go line up at the door. So of course I went. Oh, nobody told me I was fired. They just told me to go. She just told me to go home for the day. So I got to the point where I was gonna clock out or clock in. I walked in and Amy says, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm here to work." And she says, "I think we had a misunderstanding." I said, "I think you're right. I'm really sorry. I was out of line yesterday." I wasn't meaning any of my apology, but that's what I said. I'm sorry. I'll breathe in my mouth. I said, I'm really sorry. I was. Oh, thank you so much for the subscribing. Thank you. I said, "You just told me to go home for the day." I said, "I'm really sorry. I was out of line. I apologize for that." And she says, "No." She says, "When I told you to go home yesterday, I meant for you to go home and not come back." I said, "Oh?" I said, "Well, you didn't tell me that." I said, "So what are you trying to say?" And she says, "You know what I'm trying to say." I said, "No, I don't understand." I was playing so dumb. I wanted to hear the words. I was going to make her say the words. She hadn't said them. I wasn't fired, right? She hadn't told me I was fired. I wasn't fired. I guess in hindsight, I probably could have just walked out and said, "They never told me I was fired. Can I get unemployment?" Sorry, that last piece of meat kind of like went up and almost got in my nose. That's bad. It almost went up my nose. Anyway. Oh, a Yeti? You got a Yeti? I've got one that's actually like a teal color that my husband got me. This is the one I use when I'm on my motorcycle because I can scratch it and don't matter. Sorry. I inhaled that last bite of my meat. That didn't sound very good, did it? But anyway. So she told me that I needed to leave and that I was fired. She did finally tell me I was fired. So I went out in my car and I sat and I called my mom. I told my mom I got fired. And I was just sitting out there talking to my mom and stuff, and we were laughing. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, and I kept seeing Mr. Singh and Amy going in and out of the building. God, that piece of meat is like stuck in the back of my throat. They kept pointing at me. And next thing I know, the building security guard pulls up to my car and asks if I'm okay. I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm just talking to my mom." And he says, he says, well, he's like, Mr. Singh called and said that that you were still here and that you had been released of your duties and that they had asked you to leave the building. And I said, yeah, they did. They asked me to leave the building and stuff, and they did. They fired me. And I said I needed to call my mom and stuff. I was upset, and so I was just talking to my attorney. I said I was just talking to my attorney and stuff, and talking to my mom. So I just wanted to make sure I took care of stuff here before I left, because I didn't want to, I didn't want to get myself in trouble while I was driving and talking on the phone and, having those distractions. he's like, I understand. He's like, that's okay. So just once you're done, just go ahead and take off. So that way they know that I talked to you. I was like, did they think I was going to go and shoot up their building with an Uzi or something? It was just little me. That was pretty funny. I guess I don't know. I guess I turned 5'1", blonde hair, and back then I was like all of like 115 pounds. I intimidated them, I guess. That was pretty funny. So yeah, I got fired from that job. I've only gotten fired from like 2 jobs ever. That one and the church. Not too many people can say they got fired from a church. I was one. So where are you at? Where are you from, Myra? If you don't mind me asking. I am in Virginia. I'm in America too. Hey, we're neighbors. Whereabouts in America? You're in Florida. Oh, okay, cool. I'm in Virginia. I'm in Bristol, Virginia. I'm like right on the border of Tennessee and Virginia. Spit it out, girl. I'm like right close to the Appalachian Mountains. Whereabouts in Florida are you? Are you like close to the ocean? Oh, okay. Like, I'm not sure where that's at. My mom used to live in Cape Coral. I never did make it to Cape Coral. I've been to Destin. I've just forgot what Fort Walton Beach. Fort Walton Beach is my favorite place. I know everyone likes Destin, but I like Fort Walton Beach better. It's cheaper. The beaches are just as nice, but and then is it Jacksonville? Is it Jacksonville, Florida, that's got the area that they've got the wild horses? Or is that more toward the Carolinas? I've been to Florida a couple times. I'm trying to remember whereabouts. I used to live in Georgia, and we used to go to like Savannah and stuff, and every once in a while we venture further and go on into Florida for a couple times. What's the weather like down that way this weekend? It's been like super windy and rainy here the last couple days. And I'm drinking water. I'm not drinking alcohol, even though I probably act like I'm about half drunk. I had a chicken pot pie and I had food in my teeth. Oh, really? Are you guys getting ready to have like hurricane weather? I mean, not hurricane weather, but like hurricane season. I know it like hits like around like a couple times a year. It seems like it's getting close to that time. Oh, ooh, eek. Did it hit your area? Hopefully you guys are okay. Oh, those can be scary. Very scary. I'm one of those weirdos though that I keep wanting to go out and kind of look to see if I can see it. I've not actually gotten to see one, but I've heard them. They sound terrifying. They sound like a freight train. That's when you know that there's one like super close, is when you hear that low rumble that sounds like a train. They're scary. They're freaking terrifying. Um, I was when I was younger, I used to show horses and hogs in 4-H. My dad was a hog farmer, and we had horses also. So, in order for me to show my horses, I had to take a hog to 4-H also, because it was a money maker, and horses were just eaters. They were money eaters, as my dad always said. Um, so we were at the 4-H. We were at the fair, and at our fair in Ohio, it always seemed, to this day, it always seems to rain and have to just have rain during the fair week. And we had a tornado one year. And I remember my mom was making us get, she made us get under the camper, this big metal camper for the tornado. I was like, oh, Mom, I don't think this is the safest place to be. What am I most scared of? That's a really good question. I'm not really scared of death, because that's going to happen to everybody. That's just kind of nature. I think I'm most scared of being forgotten. Being forgotten. I think that's my thing. I always want to. She's smart. That's a smart Nana. That's actually pretty smart, because you never know. Even though it's over, there might still be some danger out there. Whether it's debris, whether there's, still some lightning and stuff going on out there, you just don't know. It's pretty smart. Your Nana, I like your Nana. She's pretty smart. My grandma used to make us go downstairs and get under her pool table. She used to have this really heavy pool table when she was alive. She'd always make us go in the basement. Oh God, maybe she just did that because it was like it gave her a break. She's just peace and quiet. There you go. There you have something to do for when you have kids. Then I'll give you an idea. You'll be doing that to your kids when you have them, if you don't have them already. I'll give you an idea. When they start to try to drive you bonkers, tell them there's a tornado or a tornado warning. Tell them they need to go sit in the bathtub for a couple hours until it passes. Just, give them some toys or something. So I'll come back and check on you. If she's still around, you'll have to tell her, I figured it out. I figured out why you did what you did. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, goodness gracious. That's great. The things that parents and grandparents come up with, right, to entertain kids, and we don't think about it until we grow up. uh, is your Nana still around? Oh, my live light started back over. That's crazy. All right. don't have anybody in here. I think you left, didn't you, Myra? Looks like nobody's in here. I think this is a good time to end. It was cool. That was fun. That was fun. Have a good night if you're in here still. I'm gonna go ahead and end it.